which shows that the antiplatelet effect ranged from minimal to almost total. It did tend to be greater in the prasugrel group, but they could have seen who bleeds, and they could have said, well, let's dose individually to this, let's say, or whatever it is, antiplatelet effect that's associated with some and least adverse effects. But they didn't do that. Why? Because it goes directly against the company's advertising policies, which say that you don't need to do this. But this says you can and you do need to do it. That's the problem. And that's what's bad about big bad pharma. So they suppress their own science for the sake of marketing. And they could easily dose the antiplatelet effect. And this is another example of why we badly need individualized drug dosage regimens. Really kind of ends it for me now. And Iman, why don't you take over again?
Right. Thank you.
Okay.
Giving you an example from the field of antibiotics. My name is Ayman Oxaselin, and this is what I do for a living. Use all of these techniques, the kinetics and the dynamics and the genomics, and even I added what we call it clinical simulation to come up with the real dosage regimen that will fit each patient based on his or her condition, physiological condition, pharmacokinetics. For the antibiotics field, we don't have that much worry about antibiotics in the body because it doesn't have that much effect now for the antibiotics compared to the antiviral or antineoplastic. The problem is that the genes that are conferred in the bacteria itself that can confer to resistance that will justify changing the dose to make sure that we can kill this patient, this can kill this bacteria and avoid causing any harm to this patient. Got it? So we need to kill the patient for sure. So here, the problem with the antibiotic failure, pharmacological, related to the exposure, to the extent, so we talk about the kinetics, and also related to the pathogen itself. And now we talk about the bacterial resistance, so we have to worry about the resistance here. For the kinetics part, we developed the PK/PD modeling where we have the dynamics and the kinetics, and we made the marriage here to achieve the real solid PK/PD approach. I'm not going to go over that because this is really details right now, and I'm going to give you an example to optimize therapy for antibiotics. I'm going to give an example for fluoroquinolones versus Streptococcus pneumoniae. And again, this can be for everything, i.e. fluoroquinolone, fluoroquinolone versus Pseudomonas. And each one has its own story, so it's not a generalized. This is just for case of treating patients who have Streptococcus pneumoniae infection, and you want to give them fluoroquinolone. Those are built for different antibiotics and for different pathogens, so that's why it's a huge science right now. For the fluoroquinolone, we achieve now we have the target, as Dr. Jill. The dose you have to treat to achieve a target. This is your target to make sure that you're going to kill this bacteria. Again, bacteria, not the patient. So you want to kill the bacteria.